Bukky stared at herself in the bathroom mirror. Her cheekbones were sharper now, her eyes sunken. Just 2 months ago, she had been full-faced, vibrant, the kind of girl whose smile could light up a room. Now she barely recognized herself. Her toothbrush trembled in her hand. She spat into the sink and saw streaks of blood in the foam. Another cough racked her chest. Her whole body ached in a way the doctors at the campus clinic couldn't explain. She knew the truth. The night with Gaeol hadn't just taken her virginity, it had taken something deeper. Something she couldn't ever get back. She could still feel it sometimes. The moment his eyes had turned cold after it was over. The strange way he had touched her forehead and whispered words she didn't understand before leaving the room. That night, his wealth had grown, and she had started dying. At first, she thought it was just stress. She tried to focus on her studies, but every time she sat in a lecture hall, her mind would drift. Her head would pound until she had to lay it down on the desk. The lecturers complained about her new habit of missing classes. Her coursemates whispered behind her back. "She's enjoying sugar daddy money," they sneered, "too busy to read." If only they knew. Tara, however, seemed unbothered. Every weekend she would appear at Bukky's hostel with a new bundle of cash wrapped in brown paper. "From Gaeol," she would say, tossing it onto Bukky's bed. "He says you should take care of yourself." Bukky would stare at the money with mixed emotions, disgust and desperation. The hospital bills for her brother were climbing. The drugs were expensive. And without those bales of cash, her brother might already be dead. "Tara," Bukky whispered one night, clutching the bundle in her hand, Why me? You could have taken me to someone else. Not him." Tara's face hardened. "You wanted money. I connected you. You think life is fair? People are dying every day because they didn't take their chances. Stop acting like you didn't know what you were doing." Bukky's lips trembled. "But I didn't know it would feel like this." Tara lit a cigarette and leaned back on the bed. "It's in your head. You'll soon be all right." But Bukky knew it wasn't in her head. She could feel the weakness growing inside her bones. She could feel her life draining away, like water through open fingers. And whenever she thought about going to the police or telling her pastor, Tara's voice would echo in her mind. "Who will believe you? You have no proof. And you still take his money." She hated herself for that last part. The money was keeping her brother alive, and keeping her silent. Sometimes at night, she would wake up sweating, dreaming of the black, leather-bound book she'd seen in Gaeol's room. The strange gold markings. The way he had touched it before touching her. In her dreams, the book would open by itself and blood would drip from its pages. She didn't need anyone to tell her, she had renewed his wealth with her blood. And he would never let her go. Bukky's heart pounded like a drum in a silent room. The lights in the penthouse bedroom were dim, just enough for her to see the man sitting on the edge of the massive bed, Gaeol. The billionaire every blog in Lagos worshipped. The same man her friend Tara had called our only hope 3 hours ago. Now here she was. Trapped. Gaeol's eyes swept over her like a predator inspecting its prey. "You know why you're here?" he asked, his voice deep, slow, too calm for her comfort. Bukky swallowed hard. Tara said, "You'll help me. My brother is sick. We need money for surgery. Please." "I don't help for free," he cut in, leaning forward. "I give, and I take. Tonight, I take." Her knees weakened. She could still feel the heavy envelope of cash Tara had shown her earlier, the price of her body, the cost of her brother's life. She had thought she was ready. She wasn't. "Don't be afraid," Gaeol said, a twisted smile forming. "It will be quick. And you'll leave with more money than you've ever touched in your life." A sharp pain pierced her chest. Not physical, the pain of losing a piece of herself she could never get back. She whispered, "Why me?" "Because you're pure," he said simply, as if announcing the weather. "And purity is valuable." Bukky's eyes darted toward the door. She could run. But Tara was waiting downstairs, and Tara had said Gaeol's guards wouldn't let her leave. She thought of her brother lying in that hospital bed, tubes running from his frail body. If she left, he might die. Her breath came in shallow gasps. She nodded slowly, hating herself for it. Gaeol stood, towering over her. Good girl, he said, then motioned to the bed. Lie down. Bukky froze. Her whole body screamed no. She turned her head slightly, and her eyes caught something, a black, leather-bound book on the nightstand. Strange gold markings covered it, and a red ribbon hung from its pages. A sudden chill ran down her spine. Is that a Bible? She asked without thinking. Gaeol chuckled, a sound colder than Harmattan wind. Not quite. He walked past her, shutting the curtains completely. Don't concern yourself with what you don't understand. But she did understand something. This wasn't just a man. Something darker was here. Please, she tried one last time, can't I just? Bukky, he interrupted, saying her name like he owned it. I have 7 minutes. Let's not waste them. Her pulse roared in her ears. She stepped back until she felt the wall press into her spine. He moved closer, the scent of his expensive cologne mixing with something faint, metallic. Her mind screamed to run. Her brother's face begged her to stay. And then, the bedroom door creaked open. Tara stepped in, her eyes flicking between Bukky and Gaeol. She's ready, Tara said, her tone flat. Gaeol's smile widened. Bukky realized then, Tara wasn't just a friend. She was the hunter who had led her straight into the trap. It was raining heavily the night Bukky's phone lit up with an unknown number. She almost didn't answer, until she saw the text that followed. Pick up. T. She sighed, pressing the green button. Hello. A smooth, deep voice filled her ear. Bukky. It's Gaeol. Her stomach clenched instantly. She hadn't heard his voice since that night. She had prayed she never would. I don't. You do, he interrupted. And you owe me. Owe you? Her voice cracked. I already. You think I got this far by taking only once? His tone was calm, but it carried a weight that made her hands shake. You're still alive. Which means you can give more. I want you again. The phone nearly slipped from her grip. No. I can't. You can, he said simply. And you will. Tara will bring you tomorrow night. Don't make me send someone else to fetch you. The line went dead. Bukky stared at her reflection in the dark window. Her heart was racing, her breath coming in sharp bursts. She was still recovering from the first time, her body weaker, her mind constantly heavy. Another night with him could kill her. She called Tara immediately. What is this? I thought it was just that one time. Tara's voice was casual. Bukky, calm down. It's just business. He takes care of you, you take care of him. And the money is sweet, your brother's surgery is almost fully paid for. This isn't business, Tara. He's doing something to me. Stop that nonsense, Tara snapped. You think you're special? You're not the only girl he's helped. Do you know how many girls on campus are living fine because of him? Don't mess it up. Bukky froze. Wait, you've done this to others. Done what? Connected them to money? Yes. And they are fine. Tara's voice dropped lower. Don't think too much about it. Just go tomorrow. It'll be quick. But Bukky was thinking about it. She remembered the pale, quiet first-year student who had suddenly dropped out last semester. Rumors said she'd gone to find greener pastures abroad, but Bukky now wondered if she had met Gaeol instead. The next day passed like a shadow. She couldn't eat. Couldn't read. By evening, she was shivering, not from the rain outside, but from fear. At exactly 8 p.m., Tara arrived at her hostel in a black SUV. Let's go, she said, not making eye contact. Bukky's legs felt like lead as she slid into the seat. The drive to Gaeol's mansion was silent except for the sound of the rain hitting the roof. When they arrived, the gates opened without question. Inside, the house was warm, golden, and too quiet. Gaeol was waiting at the top of the stairs, dressed in a deep red robe. Welcome back, he said, his eyes glinting. Bukky's breath caught. Behind him, she saw the black book again, this time lying open on a table, its pages glowing faintly under the light. A single candle burned beside it. Her chest tightened. She realized then, this wasn't just about sleeping with a man. This was a ritual. A trade. Her life for his wealth. And she didn't know if she would leave alive this time. The air in Gaeol's mansion was heavy that night. Bukky could smell the candle wax, the faint incense, and something metallic that reminded her too much of the night she had first been here. He led her to the same bedroom, but this time, the black book wasn't tucked away, it was open on the bed. Strange golden symbols swirled across the pages as though alive, shifting when she blinked. "What is that?" she whispered. Gaeol glanced at the book, then at her. "The reason I'm not like every other man you know. The reason your brother is still breathing." Her stomach twisted. "You used me to feed it." He smiled faintly. "Feed myself, Bukky. Life is a trade. You give, you get. And I get." She shook her head. "I can't do this again. I feel weaker every day. My brother needs me." "And you need him alive," Gaeol interrupted, his tone sharper now. "Think carefully. Walk away tonight, and you lose everything you've gained. Stay, and, well, you'll have a little more time." Her pulse pounded in her ears. A little more time. That's what he was offering. Not healing, not safety, just more days to breathe before she wasted away completely. She thought of her brother, still in the hospital bed, smiling faintly every time she visited. She thought of the bills paid with Gaeol's money. She thought of Tara's careless grin whenever she handed over those wrapped bundles of cash. The candle flame flickered. Somewhere deep inside, Bukky knew that if she said yes, she would never be free. She stepped back. "No." For the first time, Gaeol's smile faltered. His eyes narrowed, dark and dangerous. "No one says no to me, Bukky." He took a step forward, but before he could reach her, the candle suddenly went out, plunging the room into darkness. A loud crash echoed from downstairs. Then a voice, deep and commanding, shouted, "Go! It ends tonight." Bukky froze. She couldn't see, but she could hear Gaeol's breathing, calm, steady. And then he laughed. "You shouldn't have come here, old man," Gaeol's voice purred. "You have no idea what you're dealing with." The sound of heavy footsteps came up the stairs. Bukky's heart was racing so fast she thought it would burst. She pressed herself against the wall, unsure if she should run or stay. The footsteps stopped outside the door. A silhouette appeared in the faint glow from the hallway, tall, broad, and holding something that glinted in the dim light. "Bukky," the stranger said quietly, "if you want to live, you'll leave with me right now." Gaeol chuckled behind her. "Careful, girl. The wrong choice here will kill you faster than I ever could." Bukky's mind spun. The stranger stepped forward. Gaeol's hand reached for her shoulder. Her breath caught in her throat. She had only seconds to decide. And then, to be continued. Wait for part 2. And don't forget to subscribe.